My husband left me for his boss, but what he didn't know is that the company he left me for actually belonged to me. He betrayed the wrong woman, and one day, the woman he abandoned became his boss. If you love stories about betrayal, revenge, and sweet justice, stay tuned till the end, because this one will leave you speechless. And if you have a story that deserves to be heard, share it in the comments. Who knows? Maybe your story will be the next one we tell. Now, let's begin. The kitchen clock ticked quietly, but for Emma, it sounded like a countdown. On the table sat an untouched dinner: spaghetti, garlic bread, and Mark's favorite chocolate cake. Every night that week, she had cooked his favorite meals. And every night, she sat alone, waiting for a message that never came. Emma was 33, kind, gentle, the kind of woman who remembered birthdays and listened when you spoke. But even the softest hearts can break. She tried to believe Mark was just busy, that their marriage was fine. But deep down, she knew something was wrong. At 10:30 that night, she heard the keys in the door. Her heart jumped, then immediately sank. Mark walked in, jacket over his arm, the faint scent of another woman's perfume on his shirt. "You're late," Emma said quietly. "I told you there was a meeting." Claire needed me to stay Claire. His new boss. A name Emma had heard too often lately. "I made dinner," she said softly. "I waited for you." Mark glanced at the food and shrugged. "I already ate." He walked past her, straight to the living room, and turned on the TV. Emma sat beside him, trying to reach the man she once knew. "Mark, you've been so distant. Is everything okay?" He sighed. "Not this again, Emma. Work is stressful." She wanted to believe him. She really did. "Maybe we can take a weekend off. Just us?" Mark laughed bitterly. "And how are we paying for that? Your little bakery dream hasn't made us a dime." Those words hit harder than he knew. Emma had given up her full-time job to support him, and his precious company, Grant Industries. The next morning, Mark rushed out early. Emma caught a glimpse of his phone. A message from C heart emoji. Her stomach turned. She knew exactly who it was. Days passed in silence. When he finally came home one night, she confronted him. "Is there someone else?" she asked, voice trembling. Mark stared at her, then finally said, "Yes." "Claire. She understands me." The room spun. "How long?" "A few months." Then came the final blow. "I'm leaving. I'm done pretending." He packed his bag and walked out. The door slammed, and the sound echoed through the empty house. Emma fell to the floor and cried until she couldn't anymore. Weeks went by. She worked at a small cafe, barely holding herself together. Her friend Amy tried to help, but nothing eased the pain. One day, while cleaning her closet, Emma found an old letter from her grandmother, Margaret Carter, the woman who had raised her. "My dear Emma," it said, "you come from strong women. When the time is right, see my lawyer. You'll know when." Emma didn't know why, but she felt that moment had come. She made an appointment. When she sat down in the lawyer's office, Mr. Anderson smiled kindly. "Emma, your grandmother left you something. A trust. And more than that." He handed her a thick folder stamped with a familiar logo. Grant Industries. Her heart stopped. Why would she leave me anything from that company? Mr. Anderson looked at her gently.
Because, Emma, your grandmother was the founder's sister. Her shares make you the majority owner. For a moment, she couldn't breathe. The company Mark had sacrificed their marriage for, Claire's company, was actually hers.
The next week, Emma walked into Grant Industries, head held high. The boardroom was full. Claire sat at the head of the table, confident and powerful. Until she saw Emma. "What are you doing here?" Claire demanded. Emma placed the folder on the table. "I'm here as the new majority owner. My grandmother's shares now belong to me." The room fell silent. Mr. Anderson stepped forward. "It's all legal." Mark rushed in moments later and froze. "Emma, what's going on?" She met his eyes. "Taking back what's mine." From that day on, everything changed. Claire tried to fight her, but the board sided with Emma. She was the rightful owner now. Mark and Claire's glamorous affair crumbled quickly. Claire became controlling, jealous, and manipulative. And when Emma uncovered proof that Claire had been stealing company funds, it was over. The board voted her out. Security escorted her from the building. Emma rebuilt the company from the ground up. She promoted honest employees. She gave chances to people Claire had ignored. And she created a workplace built on trust. Little by little, people started believing in her again. Then one afternoon, Mark showed up at her office. Flowers in his hands, regret in his eyes. "I lost everything, Emma," he said softly. "Please, give me another chance." She looked at him, calm, composed, unshaken. "You didn't just betray me, Mark. You betrayed yourself." He tried to speak, but she stopped him. "I don't owe you anything anymore." He left quietly, realizing he had destroyed his own life. Months passed. Grant Industries began to shine again. Emma stood before her employees and said, "I know the past hurt this company, but from today forward, we build something new, something honest." The room filled with applause. Later that night, Emma returned home. She lit a candle beside her grandmother's portrait and whispered, "I did it, Grandma. I protected what you built, and I finally protected myself." She looked out at the city lights, the same city that once made her feel small. Now she stood taller than ever. Emma wasn't the abandoned wife anymore. She was the woman who turned her pain into power and took back everything that was hers. If you're still here, thank you for watching till the end. And remember, sometimes the sweetest revenge is simply becoming everything they said you couldn't be. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to follow for more real-life dramas and powerful transformations. And if you have a story to share, leave a comment below. Your story might just be the next one we tell.